have to bear with me. For some reason it's a bit choppy in the loading. I'm hoping that when the game loads it's gonna ease out. This is the first time it's been so choppy on the loading. I've tried launching it twice. It's done the same thing. Oh, is the marketplace open? I've seen some notification about my library. Oh, maybe not. Restart sim to retrieve your flight sim 2020 items. Maybe the next time then. We'll try some more low altitude. It's freezing today, so it's still snow. It's freezing. So far, so good. Still got 8 miles to go. Not so much going on this one though. The others are like canyons and stuff. Nice. I don't know if the scores are fixed yet though, because it keeps saying my score's like double what the world record is. So that was a fun one though. I think we've done all of them now. Too bad it doesn't show you the score just on the like thumbnail thing now. Do some career now. I just like to warm up with those like jet challenges. let's do the instrument one.
We're flying over the UK's Shetland Islands, just below a thick layer of
for
clouds.
all weather.
Up until now, you've been able to look outside to judge the aircraft's attitude and location. What happens when you lose that outside view? That takes us into the world of instrument flight. When you can't use the horizon for reference due to clouds, darkness, or other hindrances to visibility, you'll need to rely on your airplane's instruments. When flying on instruments alone, you'll need to rely on your attitude indicator to see your pitch and roll information. Modern cockpits like this combine several instruments into one electronic display, called a primary flight display, or PFD. Stay on heading 270, set full power, and climb up to 4,500 feet. Set full power for the climb. Watch your heading. Maintain heading 270. We're climbing up into the cloud layer. Notice how you're starting to lose your outside view. Instead of looking out the canopy, focus your attention on the cockpit instruments. You can maintain wings level using the attitude indicator. Continue climbing to 4,500 feet. You needed to maintain heading 270. Using the vertical SPED indicator and the altimeter, level off at 4,500 feet, while continuing to maintain a heading of 270. Now fly straight and level at 4,500 feet, getting used to not having an outside horizon for reference. Okay, now keep us on this heading and take us down to 4,000 feet. Reduce power so that we can descend without gaining speed. Great, increase power again for cruise and keep us at 4,000 feet. Wow, great job. That's how things look and feel making altitude changes on instruments alone. You'll find it gets easier with experience. Next we'll introduce turns.
Yeah, at least I didn't score you on the heading. Because probably would have got a worse one than A. It's just climbing and descent they seem to score you on. Right, turning. This shouldn't be too bad. Because we've already done this. It's just we can't see out the screen, the wind screen this time. But
now that you've tried some climbs and descents, we'll introduce turning. Throughout this lesson, maintain your current altitude of 4,000 feet. Our heading is the direction our nose is pointing, measured in degrees. The main electronic display in front of you is the primary flight display, or PFD. At the bottom center of the PFD, we see the horizontal situation indicator, or the HSI. The HSI shows us the direction our nose is pointing, called our heading. Headings are measured in degrees, with east being 090, south 180, west 270, and north 360. Currently we're heading west. That's 270 degrees. When turning, we want to aim for a bank angle of around 20 degrees. Along the top of the attitude indicator are white lines. Each line represents 10 degrees. Normally we use about 20 degrees of bank, which is the second white line. Let's try it out. Make a turn to the left onto heading 180, using 20 degrees of bank. Keep turning until heading south, at which point, smoothly roll back to wings level. You didn't maintain 4,000 feet while turning. That's it, stop turning there and you'll be heading due south, heading 180. Great, now try and maintain this heading for a short while. Watch your altitude, maintain 4,000 feet. Now make a turn to the right, onto a heading of 350. Now smoothly roll wings level onto a heading of 350. Now maintain heading 350 for a bit. Wow, great job. So that's how we make turns using just the instruments. Next we'll look at how to handle speed changes. We're cruising at 100 knots, maintaining our heading and altitude. Let's look at how we deal with speed changes when
How
flying
you
on
doing, man?
instruments.
How you doing, Blanco?
When slowing down, the wings produce less lift.
Jace is
To counter
probably
this,
sleeping
you'll need
right
to
now, man.
progressively raise the nose in order to maintain altitude.
'Cause it's about 5 in the
Give it a
morning for him.
try. Reduce power and bring the speed back to 70 knots.
But yeah, we're out here trying to get our license.
Keep us steady
17
on heading
knots.
350. You wandered off the heading.
Yeah, let's restart. I wasn't really paying attention at the beginning there. I'm hoping this is going to make flights a bit more interesting. I'll be able to fly during bad weather now, rather than just middle of the day.
We're
Let's
cruising
actually
at 100
see what
knots,
he wants.
maintaining our heading and altitude. Let's look at how we deal with speed changes when flying on instruments. When slowing down, the wings produce less lift. To counter this, you'll need to progressively raise the nose in order to maintain altitude. Give it a try. Reduce power and bring the speed back to 70 knots.
And eventually we can do some night training. We can do some night flight. Should be cool. You doing the early birds today, Blanco? Because we're at Nords. Morning, Legend May. How you doing, man? I'm assuming by the fact it's 10 to 5 you haven't slept much.
Remember to adjust the elevator trim so that you don't have to keep putting any pressure on the controls. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude.
Oh, you didn't tell me that just now.
You need to be able to control altitude while adjusting speed.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'm sorry to hear, Mum. And any better than? I know it's only been a day.
Good. Now set power to maintain 70 knots.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, you're more than welcome to talk about it. But I know if you don't want to, I understand. No worries. No worries, Blanco. That would be cool to have you, man.
Notice how the nose needs to be a little higher than before to make up for the loss of airspeed. Use the elevator trim to adjust pitch to the new sped and maintain 70 knots for a bit.
This one's actually kind of tough. A lot of adjusting.
Keep us steady on heading 350.
About the same, Legend.
You wandered off the heading. Great, now increase power to get your speed back up to 100 knots. As we speed up, notice how you need to trim nose down to avoid climbing.
No, I want to climb. Because we're not 4,000.
That's it, now stabilize at 100 knots.
A6. A7. This one was kind of tough.
Good, now we'll take flap settings into account. Flaps give a boost in lift, which you'll need to control in order to maintain our altitude. They also add
Alright,
drag,
Blanco.
making us slow down more quickly, so be careful
Hope you
not
have a
to
good
get too
stream,
slow.
buddy.
Reduce power and slow
Yeah,
us down to
hopefully
60
you get to
knots.
see that, man.
Keep us steady on heading 350. Good, now extend the flaps to 10 degrees. Now set flaps at 20 degrees. With the extra drag, start adding power so you don't drop below your target airspeed of 60 knots. Now stabilize at 60 knots and trim for level flight. You did well, but you can do better.
Yeah, I was sloppy. I was sloppy. I don't want to just move past that one. There was a lot, a lot going on. Oh man, I know what that's like. Yeah, honestly, just getting more sleep will just help you, because if your life's going perfect and you don't get good sleep, you'll start having bad days. You know what I mean? Like, having bad sleep it just makes you like irritated at everything. So stuff you would normally be just like brush off will like bug you, and you're more likely to snap at something or react to something. So if you're already feeling, the problem is it's sort of like it's a horrible cycle, isn't it? Because if you're having a bad time, it's hard to sleep. But by not sleeping, you're making it worse for yourself. But yeah, just try not to pile the arguments on, you know? You need to have time to reset and chill out from like the last argument. Because if you sort of argue again within the same day or the next day, or even like within the next couple of days, you're still like heated off of that first argument. So even though the second thing might not even be as big, or it might even be about the same thing, but you just won't be dealing with it properly. You'll never like sort it out. Yeah, so it won't let me stop.
Now that you have the basics of flying the aircraft on instruments, let's look at navigation. There is a worldwide network of radio beacons that pilots use to find their way when flying IFR. The most common beacon is the VOR. I've tuned the Sunberg VOR into your NAV radio, which we're going to fly toward. To get there, we'll use the course deviation indicator, CDI. That's the green arrow and bar on the HSI. I've set the CDI for a course of 170. That means we want to arrive at the VOR on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. If the bar is to the left of center, we need to fly to the left to recapture our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle.
I actually have no idea what he's on about. What does he mean, that like white line? I mean, white line, the green line. Or that blue. I don't know. I don't know what the CDI was, I missed that. I don't know I don't even know what I said now, man. I'm not even sure. I just don't know what this CDI is, not at once. I kind of
You're way
missed.
off on altitude holding. Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
Yeah, it's that green. Keep forgetting about the altitude as well.
Great. Now keep the CDI bar centered and it'll take us to the VOR.
It wants it more centered. Oh, that way.
You were way off on altitude holding. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude.
Restart that one. That line didn't like go in the middle properly. Ooh.
Now that you have the basics of flying the aircraft on instruments, let's look at navigation. There is a worldwide network of radio beacons that pilots use to find their way when flying IFR. The most common beacon is the VOR. I've tuned the Sunberg VOR into your NAV radio, which we're going to fly toward. I've set the CDI for a course of 170. That means we want to arrive at the VOR on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. If the bar is to the left of center, we need to fly to the left to recapture our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle.
I forget how loud he is for you guys, because I don't think I can talk over him. Because I think he's louder than me. He's got to show his dominance, you know. I've seen that captain's badge too. Alright, cool. I just don't know if when he talks, if you can hear me. Do you have like work or anything, Legend?
Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
Do you at least have the luxury to chill out while you're not feeling well? Because honestly, if you had to work as well, oh man, I've lost like 2 jobs purely because of like brain stuff, you know.
Great.
So
now keep the
maybe not
CDI
want to
bar
go
centered,
in or
and it'll take us to the VOR.
leave early or just poor performance. I lost 2 jobs doing that. Oh well, I mean, maybe just one. The first job I got made redundant in the end anyway, but I'm pretty sure I was on my way out. But the company closed anyway. Well, they closed that location. Not the actual company, the store itself closed, but the company was fine. Honestly, right now it's probably best you don't have a job, just like have time to yourself now. I wouldn't even stress about it.
Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude.
I mean, maybe you're someone who would get distracted by the work though, because I know some people are like that. But that's not me.
We're getting close to the VOR now. The CDI indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a VOR, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple miles.
Come on. Yeah, can't really blame him for prattling about, but I've been fired from 2 places.
Wow, great job.
But I've had
Now we'll turn our attention to a different
jobs.
type of radio beacon.
But I've quit 2 that I didn't need to. Kind of thing, you know, because I just wasn't there properly, like mentally. Just don't want to go. It was a very rough time for me up to like the ages of like 20, 21, 20. Rough. Which one, legend? I'll happily share them. Hello, Parasite, man. What do you mean about why I had a rough time?
The VOR system is a classic for navigating via instruments, but modern technology has opened the door for new navigation tools.
Yeah, I'm not too
Our
bad,
flight plan
Paris.
is made of multiple GPS waypoints. We can use those to guide us when we can't count on visibility. For this lesson, we're going to follow a similar trajectory as in the VOR tutorial, flying over Sumburg Airport while maintaining an altitude of 4,000 feet. The system looks very similar to the VOR on the avionics. We'll use the CDI. That's the pink arrow and bar on the HSI.
Yeah, sure thing,
Looking at our
legend.
flight plan,
No,
we can see that
I'll
we're
share some
supposed to
stories,
arrive
man.
at the waypoint on a heading of 170.
I'll let this guy chat away,
The
man.
CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. We've deviated on purpose so that you can see how to catch up to your intended trajectory.
There's only like 4
Just
of us
like
here,
with
so
VOR,
I don't
the
mind.
gap between the bar and the CDI arrow shows us the direction that we need to head towards to catch up to our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle. Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
I've been lucky enough for the last 4 or 5 years have been pretty bliss for me. We've had a pretty big arguments, me and my current girlfriend, you know. But I've never been happy, that sort of thing, and
Great. Now keep the CDI bar centered and it'll take us to the
but-
waypoint.
yeah, so it kind of started when I was like 15, man. When I got my first like proper girlfriend. I mean, all my stresses have either been women or money, or like self-doubt. But that kind of comes off of the money or the women thing. Yeah, 15, 16, I got my first girlfriend. Or, you know, I consider what would be my first girlfriend. You sort of have your own little like school relationships and that. But this was like the first one that was sort of, I would consider a relationship. She was like my first and everything, if you know what I mean, and all that. But it turns out that the whole time that we were together, what, 6, 7 months? The whole time we were together, she was like messing about with someone else. From my school. And that really messed me up. I found on her phone. I don't know why I even bothered doing it, because I wasn't like a paranoid person, but I thought I'll just check her phone. I don't know why. Because it's not something you should be doing. But yeah, I seen all these text messages, man. They were just fucking vile, to be honest. And not only that, she was also messaging and like video calling someone else that she used to know, and doing, let's say, vile stuff again over video. But for some reason, man, I stayed with her for like 2 months, 3 months after that. I was still with her, and I'm pretty sure in those 2-3 months she didn't change and she was still doing those things. Yeah, so that led to some struggles, and I was quite destructive on myself at that point. But she ended up moving away, so we broke up, and even when we broke up, I was still like devastated that we broke up. I didn't even really, obviously cared that with what she'd done obviously hurt me, but like, I was still willing to be with her for some reason, just like hurting myself even more. But yeah, we break up. I get into another relationship within probably about a year. It was a long distance relationship with someone in Canada, and we're together for like 3 or 4 years, man. I go over there several times. I think I I think out of the 3 or 4 years, we
We're
probably
getting close
spent
to the waypoint now.
about 8 months of
The
it
CDI
together.
indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a GPS waypoint, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple of miles.
Yeah, 12, 13-year-old, like pretty much 16, 17 onwards, like I think your relationships start having a bit more like emotional, like meaning and importance. I know, man, I'm trying to talk. So yeah, within about a year. Oh, so I can continue on the same trajectory, but I turned. Oops. Let's restart that. I'm too busy talking. Together, what, 4 or 5 years? Yeah, and then, oh, I said, been seeing each other about 8, 9 months of that. We get engaged.
The VOR system is a classic for navigating via instruments,
Can even really
but modern
count it.
technology has opened
I
the door
tend to
for
not
new
tell people
navigation
I've been
tools.
engaged or
Our flight
that,
plan is
'cause
made of multiple
we were
GPS
16.
waypoints. We can
No,
use those to guide us
16.
when we can't count on visibility.
was it
For this
really ever
lesson,
gonna
we're going to follow a
flourish into
similar
anything? I
trajectory as
don't
in the
know.
VOR tutorial, flying over Sumburg Airport while maintaining an altitude of 4,000 feet. The system looks very similar to the VOR
just
on the
waiting for it to show
avionics.
up again.
We'll use the CDI. That's the pink arrow and bar on the HSI. Looking at our flight plan, we can see that we're supposed to arrive at the waypoint on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. We've deviated on purpose so that you can see how to catch up to your intended trajectory.
Yeah, sorry, I got to
Just
restart
like with
this one.
VOR,
I was
the
going
gap
the wrong
between
way.
the bar and the CDI arrow shows us the direction that we need to head towards to catch up to our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle. Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
Right. So towards the end of the relationship, after the last visit, we've seen each other for like 3 months in one sort of go. I like go over there for like 2.5 months, 3 months or something. When I come back, the next plan is to come over here for Christmas. And so for the next few months start to get a bit weird. We don't really talk very much, and we could actually end up going days without messaging each other,
Great. Now keep the CDI
which
bar
is
centered
very
and
like
it'll take us to the
out of
waypoint.
character for the relationship. And then about a week or 2 weeks before Christmas, she messages me basically saying, "No, I don't think I can do it. You know, I don't want to do this, blah blah blah." Like saying we're not really talking, all that kind of stuff. And pretty much along the line, I find out that when she went to college, like literally in the first like week or whatever at college, she met someone, and they ended up getting together. Me and her were still together technically. So it happened again. Yeah, and this one got me even worse than the last one. More destructive, more just not good. That one might be a bit too personal for now, but that wasn't 2 years or whatever, 3 years it took me to get over that. Where yeah, I was very close to the edge, if you know what I mean, kind of thing, several times. Sometimes closer than yeah, I'd like to admit maybe right now. Maybe you get the gist of what I'm going on about there, but a couple years pass, I end up getting in another relationship. And just because I've been talking about this for ages, just to move the topic on a bit faster, the same thing happens again, essentially, man. She meets someone at her work. I sort of lose my job. I was like jobless, unemployed for months. And during that time, when I was at home and stuff, she would be gone. She'd be doing that whole like movie thing, you know, like, "Oh, I've got to work late, I've got overtime." You know, so she'd be back late, or, "Oh, I'm staying at my mum's tonight, blah blah blah." And really, she was with this guy, I found out. So through messages and through my mates and stuff like that, I found out it was all bollocks. So but thankfully that was it, because the next person I met was the person I'm with now. And she is the complete opposite of anyone I've ever been with in every way, and it's amazing. Oh, hey Stardust, sorry I missed you there.
We're getting close to the waypoint now. The CDI indications
Bit
might
hard to
become
heart.
erratic or disappear when reaching a GPS waypoint, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple of miles.
Yeah, it just makes you doubt yourself, man. And I'm already someone who's quite hard on themselves without like needing that. Sorry Stardust, you come in. I'm gonna see, it's a continued trajectory. I followed that thing again. I don't know what it wants. I'm just gonna go this way. Hey, I lost it at the same bit. It's because I'm following on the screen, and on the screen it has to turn left a bit. Screw it, we're just gonna keep going this way. That tells us off. I'm not doing that again.
You were way off on altitude holding. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude.
Oh no, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Sorry if I skipped over it, I sort of rushed it towards the end there, but I don't
I think a bit more practice may be a good idea.
Yeah, me too, mate, because I got lost at the end there. I wanted to share some stuff, but I don't want it to drag on too long for the other people watching, you know? But moral is, man, it gets better. It always gets better. Always, always. Especially for relationship stuff. Like, just hang in there. And if she's really the one you want to be with, it will work out. It really will. You're 19, man. You know, you got a long time to go. I used to hate hearing that in relationships. That was the excuse of the one I was engaged to was, oh, you know, I'm too young. I've got my whole life ahead of me. It's like, yeah, fair enough. You didn't have to cheat though, did you?
So now you've got the basics of flying on instruments. Now we need to get back on the ground.
It's led me to where I am now, and I'm in a pretty happy place.
ILS for short.
Screw it.
An ILS uses two directional radio signals, one for lateral guidance called a localizer and the other for vertical guidance called the glide slope. The localizer provides lateral guidance, which directs you onto the runway centerline. The glide slope provides the intended descent angle onto the runway. The localizer is displayed with the CDI,
20?
much like in the VOR lesson.
Sorry, man, if I got that wrong.
Keep flying on a heading of 210 at 1,500 feet and we'll watch for the localizer to come alive. The localizer is moving now. Make a gentle turn to the right,
I'm sorry, man.
the localizer and keeping the CDI in the middle.
I will remember that now. I thought you were 19 just turned 20 or something, but you're 20 just turned 21. Alright.
Good. Now keep the localizer bar centered and
I feel
maintain
bad now, because you've probably
1,500
said your
feet.
age multiple times.
The glide slope is displayed next to the altimeter on your PFD. If the green glide slope diamond is above center, you are below the glide path. We always start out below the glide slope, as we want to intercept the localizer first. We'll wait for the glide slope to start moving. The localizer is starting to get away. Turn toward it to stay on course. We got too far off the localizer.
Never legend. especially after that conversation we just had.
Here comes the glide slope. Maintain 1,500 feet until it almost reaches the center.
Yeah, that was nice, man, getting off my chest. Yucky. Oh my god, why are you doing this, man? I'm terrible with names.
Using the VSI to aim for 500 feet per minute.
How are you?
Keep both the localizer and glide slope indication centered all the way down to the ground. Reduce speed and set flaps as needed as you make your way down the ILS.
Existential crisis now with Legend. I got his age wrong. I've realised I've forgotten his name. I'm a horrible person. I'm so bad. I just can't believe that. I have forgotten. As soon as you tell me, I'm gonna, like, beat myself up, you know? I don't even know where I'm heading now. Yeah, okay then. Yeah, I remember now. Because I remember that conversation. We had that Luke Skywalker conversation before. In my defense, it's half 5.
The glide slope is starting to drift away from center. You didn't follow the glide slope accurately enough.
I'm not even sure what I'm meant to be doing here, man. I'm too busy, like, laughing with you now. Yeah, look, Stardust has had enough now.
We're approaching the runway. This approach has an offset, meaning that the localizer and runway aren't lined up together exactly. Focus on following the ILS for now. We'll transition to a visual landing once we're closer to touchdown. Make only small corrections and remember that each will be more critical as we approach touchdown. Great, now is a good time to transition from flying on instruments to using visual cues to complete the landing. Get us down onto the runway and then come to a smooth stop.
I hope you have a good one, Stardust. I do hope it wasn't you haven't left, because of anything I've said. Because I think you're pretty cool. Nah, I won't forget now, man. See, now you told me again. I will not forget. I can actually promise you that. I can't promise you this is going to be a good landing. Oh my god. I'm just going to restart that one.
So now you've got the basics of flying on instruments. Now we need to get back on the ground. The most common landing aid is the Instrument Landing System, or ILS for short. An ILS uses 2 directional radio signals, one for lateral guidance called a localizer and the other for vertical guidance called the glide slope. The localizer provides lateral guidance, which directs you onto the runway centerline. The glide slope provides the intended descent angle onto the runway. The localizer is displayed with the CDI, much like in the VOR lesson. Keep flying on a heading of 210 at 1,500 feet and we'll watch for the localizer to come alive. The localizer is moving now. Make a gentle turn to the right, intercepting the localizer and keeping the CDI in the middle.
You know how, like, Stardust left just then? That set off my, like, reassurance thing, you know, we were talking about. I'm like legitimately worried now.
Now keep the localizer bar centered and maintain 1,500 feet. The glide slope is displayed next to the altimeter on your PFD. If the green glide slope diamond is above center, you are below the glide path. We always start out below the glide slope, as we want to intercept the localizer first. We'll wait for the glide slope to start moving. The localizer is starting to get away. Turn toward it to stay on course. We got too far off the localizer. Here comes the glide slope. Maintain 1,500 feet until it almost reaches the center.
Makes me feel weird. Like, was that because of what the stuff I was saying? I'm putting on a bad stream now. Will I ever see Stardust again?
Here it comes. Now reduce power a little and start to descend, using the VSI to aim for 500 feet per minute.
Alright, this seems a little better than last time. We were way off.
Keep both the localizer and glide slope indications centered all the way down to the ground. Reduce speed and set flaps as needed as you make your way down the ILS.
I won't forget your name, Mum. I won't forget.
The glide slope is starting to drift away from center. You didn't follow the glide slope accurately enough.
Yeah, you're all good. I just don't really care, man, if I'm honest. Everyone seems to just call me my first name now, but bar a few people that still call me Mark, but I think they all know what my first name is, but it's whatever you prefer saying. Honestly, it doesn't bother me.
We're approaching the runway. This approach has an offset, meaning that the localizer and runway aren't lined up together exactly. Focus on following the ILS for now. We'll transition to a visual landing once we're closer to touchdown. Make only small corrections and remember that each will be more critical as we approach touchdown. The glide slope is starting to drift away from center. You didn't follow the glide slope accurately enough.
Like Lucas or
Great.
something.
Now is a good time to transition from flying on instruments to using visual cues to complete the landing. Get us down onto the runway and then come to a smooth stop.
What? What you on? Yeah, it was just cool having Stardust in, because I see her everywhere. Everywhere. She was like hanging out in the mornings, like with the flight sim. Felt honoured, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Legend. That's what I was like, surely it's not Lucas, surely I'm forgetting the name. Because Lucas isn't a lengthened Lucas.
I think a bit more practice may be a good
different
idea.
name. It's kind of crazy how stuff like... Isn't William or Bill is like short for William? And there's like Dick for Richard and stuff like that. Like what? What's up, Ads? Good to see you, man. Wonder where Neon is. If he's even gonna pop in today, might be just chilling. Yeah, I mean, that one makes a little more sense, I guess. I mean, Lucas and Luke, that's a bit silly.
Alright, it's time to put what you've learned into practice. We're at 5,000 feet following a GPS route toward Sunberg. I'll ask you to perform some handling tasks to test your IFR flying skills. Follow the GPS, as shown in magenta on your CDI, maintaining 5,000 feet and 110 knots. Watch the altitude, we want 5,000 feet. You needed to keep us at 5,000. Alright, it's time to put what you've learned into practice. We're at 5,000 feet following a GPS route toward Sunberg. I'll ask you to perform some handling tasks to test your IFR flying skills. Follow the GPS, as shown in magenta on your CDI, maintaining 5,000 feet and 110 knots. Okay, still maintaining the GPS course, take us down to 3,500 feet, keeping 110 knots airspeed. Next, keep us at 3,500 feet and make a left turn onto heading 060. Keep us at 3,500 feet. You didn't hold your altitude accurately enough. Alright, let's throw some other things your way. Please bring the speed back to 70 knots. Keep us at 3,500 feet. You didn't hold your altitude accurately enough. Alright, now keep us at 3,500 feet, 70 knots, and turn us to the right onto heading 225. Okay, now get us back to 110 knots. Keep us at 3,500 feet.
Yeah, well, for sure, man. I think I had my mic muted there. Yeah, yeah, I think it was, man. Well, it wasn't muted on my headset, but I could see the bar wasn't going up, so
Well
I just
done,
turned it off and
but
on
there's
again.
room for improvement.
How long? When was the last? What was the last thing you heard me say? Sorry, man. I was concentrating, to be fair. Did ads at least hear me say hello? Okay, well, not too bad. But yeah. Well, what was the last thing you even heard me say? I know we've seen 11 more subs. And yeah, with what you were saying. The reason I opened up anyway is because you had, so you're right. Or hello ads. If I'm sorry if I missed you there, man. But I hope that by opening up that you kind of, ease your situation a little bit, because sometimes with those things, you hear something and you can relate on it, so it makes you feel like, oh, you're not the only one going through this, because that's something you can get caught up on. And also the fact that sometimes you can hear stuff and it almost makes you feel a little better about your situation, because it's not as bad as theirs. Like, your thing might be bad, but at least it's not that bad, and it helps you deal with it. Why won't it let me start this? Can't start my training. For goodness sake. Oh, at least it was only like 3 minutes though. I don't think I said too much. Did you hear me say anything about your Andrew comment? Because at least I know then it was after you typed that message that I went muted. Why wouldn't it let me take any exams? Have I done something wrong? Okay, that's fine then. That means ads probably did hear me. But yeah, man, I just hope that it has, just made you feel a little better. Like, you're smart enough to know that other people go through that kind of stuff, but It's nice to, like, do you know what? It was really nice to hear that you, maybe this is the wrong way to word it, but you know what I mean? It was nice to hear that you have issues with like reassurance and stuff, because I've struggled with that pretty much my whole life. It's not as intense or as like controlling as it used to be. So maybe I'm heading in the right direction. Maybe one day it will be gone, but I don't know if anyone's ever admitted that to me. I think you're the first person to admit that they also have that. Yeah, well, everyone takes stuff differently. It's like that might not affect you, might affect someone different. Oh, we need 10,000 credits, that's why. I don't know if we've got long enough for this. That's the only problem. Let's see if we got time to do this tiny one here. Surely that won't take 20 minutes. Or at least we can earn some money from it. Well, we got our training done at least. Oh well, man, I didn't know that. I knew that you had LCD. Somehow I remembered that info about you, but I didn't know it was to do with like hygiene. So I'm just trying to do something here. Trying to set up my stream for the early birds. I forgot to do that. Is Rack still live? Oh no, Rack's not live anymore. He's just decided to not come and say hi. No, I'm joking. I am joking. Yeah, I'm sure like if you already like had like some struggles of hygiene OCD, then yeah, COVID's just gonna send you rampant, isn't it? And like, you might not, I don't want to say recover, but you know, that's gonna like forever change you, that probably. To prove that I'm an overthinker, I'm still thinking about Stardust. That's like, yeah. She normally stays for the entire thing. Lurking. What did we forget? Ah. I thought we did that. Oh well.
James, I'm ready.
We'll have to see how we do for time. If it gets to about 5-2, we're gonna have to just call it where we are, because I don't want to miss the intro of Yaki. Because we've got a taxi and everything.
Feels like the perfect day for a stroll, isn't it? Captain, please welcome aboard Sarah and her grandson. We've been meaning to arrange this ride over the place for a while. Now's the perfect chance to do it with you. If your passengers look comfortable, you are good to depart. Engine started. Let's go.
Echo Golf Hotel, Juliet Traffic Cessna Golf. Alpha Sierra Mike India is taxiing to runway 12.
Hi. Thanks for taking us aboard. I'm Sarah. I'm thrilled to fly over Newport with you. I used to live in the area when I was a kid, so this flight is like a trip back to my childhood, you know?
Wow.
Nice to meet you.
Such bad voice
Paul.
acting from
I'm
the AI
hanging
there.
out with Sarah for this flight. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't think it's being helpful right now for me. I usually have like a few usual guys in here. Maybe it's just a bad day of the week, you know.
Special flight for me.
Oh.
Echo Golf Hotel,
excited, but
Juliet
also kinda
Traffic
anxious.
Cessna Golf.
Hope
Alpha
that's
Sierra
normal.
Mike India taking off runway 12 departure to the west.
I don't know why that's bothered me so much. Maybe I'm just tired myself, man. Because people are free to come and go as they please, obviously. I just hope that the lack of people this morning is because they're doing something else and not because they can't be bothered to watch me, kind of thing. No, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, true. True. Could have just not have said anything. I don't know how I'm meant to turn here. I never do these properly. These runways aren't like wide enough for this. Ages to taxi.
It's so satisfying feeling the plane lift off. Yeah, it's true, man. It's true.
we're at 16 likes, so I think it's doing.
Relax, Sarah. You're gripping the seat so hard you're going to break your hand.
It's doing about as good as it usually does, I guess. I think I had a bit of a high yesterday off of it. Maybe I got spoiled yesterday because I had Yaki, Blanco, we had like Perez come in, Neon and Stardust. They were like all chatting away, you know. So yesterday was like the busiest like it was for like a little while there, which was really cool. And then obviously today is a bit different. It's kind of like Yaki yesterday because he decided to turn off the numbers on his, so he couldn't see how many were watching. I think me and him struggle with the same stuff there. Because we say we don't care about the numbers, which, you know, to an extent is true.
Granny, remember,
I would be doing exactly the same thing if I had one subscriber right now.
It brings so many good memories.
Good old times.
But you can't lie to yourself and say that it doesn't bother you, or you don't pay attention to it, because you do. You know, you got goals. I want to get to 400, I want to get to 500, so the whole time I'm not there, I'm thinking, why aren't I there, you know? And then comes all the other stuff with that.
Sarah, even better than you thought, right?
James, it's awesome. Can't believe I'm actually doing this. And it's great to fly with our pilot.
Keep your eyes wide open. You won't regret it.
She didn't look too happy, to be honest.
Don't forget to take pictures.
Whoa, you see that flick then? Left. That was just wind. Yeah, not your equipment manageable. Oh, I did it again. I agree, Legend. I think so. I think it shows that,
You okay?
you know, our brains are almost too good at their job, you know?
We've got a clear view of everything from here. I love it. I'm too excited to be scared.
It's amazing. I recognize everything down there.
So our brain just like overworks and thinks stuff that doesn't even need to be thinking. Try and get that speed down. Oh. Told us off for the flaps. Oh.
We're still flying too fast. I was hoping to have more time.
No, I see what you're saying, Legend.
Everything is in such sharp focus from up here.
Yeah, overanalyzing this. Yeah, it sounds... doesn't sound like something's wrong. Can't seem to get our speed right here. We might just about make it in time for Yaki's stream doing this.
Echo Golf Hotel, Juliet Traffic Cessna Golf. Alpha Sierra Mike India 7 miles, west 900 feet inbound to land runway 12.
12. Why do they say it like that? So there's like a little pause between the runway and 12.
Once you take off, you realize that keeping your feet on the ground is overrated.
That's true. I'll give you that one. That's the best thing you've said, lady. Yeah, that's what if, followed by, oh my god, yeah, that could happen. Oh my god, is that happening? Rather than just being like, yeah, that is an interesting thought, and then moving on. And now I've got to like dwell and think of it of all angles.
I can't wait to tell everyone back home about this.
Try and pick up the speed of it. I've got to get back for Yaki. I'm not gonna make it, lady. Oh, she's bolden. Looking good. He doesn't look too good either. Do you wear any like jewelry or anything? No, like watches. Fair enough. I think like 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes.
Back to reality, folks. Hey, did you enjoy it, Sarah? Ready for your next flight?
The flight went so well. Great thrills, insane panorama over Newport. Let's go
Echo
again.
Golf Hotel,
See that one.
Juliet Traffic
What an
Cessna
amazing
Golf.
ride.
Alpha Sierra
Loved it.
Mike India is on final runway 12 to land.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Mum. Maybe, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's like your OCD kind of. That's a good way of putting it, to be honest, Mum. You're like trying to keep your brain tidy. In like a certain way, you know? I know OCD is more than just keeping things tidy. I just generalizing. Like you say, you got OCD with your hygiene. The brain is extremely complicated. Like, it's just only... It's bound to have issues, you know?
So smooth.
A bit fast. thinks it's got after it. Well, things got reverse. This one doesn't anyway. We're gonna get penalised for going off the runway. We've got to get there for Yaki. We just about made it. We've got 1 minute to spare. Oh man, that sounds rough.
Echo Golf Hotel, Juliet
I've got to go
Traffic
over there.
Cessna Golf. Alpha Sierra Mike India is taxiing
Oh
to
no,
parking.
I'm gonna be late. Oh no, it's a tree. Oh no. Oh, where does it put us? Okay, that's fine. We
Echo
can...
Golf Hotel, Juliet Traffic Cessna
Yeah,
Golf.
I'm coming.
Alpha
You go
Sierra
ahead, man.
Mike India is taxiing
I'm
to
on my
parking.
way. I'm not even doing this properly now. Our rating's gonna get destroyed from this. Come on, please.
No easy to impress the locals, but I see they're smiling. That's cool, well done.
They're happy enough. Alright, I appreciate you, legend. I'll see you in a bit, man.